Hi guys, Mehrnush here from Ross IELTS Academy. I'm here today to talk to you about the latest IELTS speaking questions, the last week's. It is always a good idea to practice different questions and topics before the test. However, you don't need to worry. When we talk to our candidates, many of them tell us that their main concern in speaking is that they don't have a very wide range of vocabulary. Tell you what, it's fine. Not everyone has got the vocabulary to talk about all the familiar and unfamiliar topics. Besides, there is no need to have information about everything so that you can answer all the questions. You need strategies. Okay guys, what we want to do today is to take a look at some of the latest IELTS speaking questions part by part, and I will give you my answers to them. Then I will explain why I gave those answers, analyzing them based on IELTS criteria. Okay, let's get started. Okay guys, in this video we want to take a look at some of the questions and answers in the first part of IELTS exam, the latest questions. Let's see what topics we have got here. The first topic is about friends. We have 3 questions. Do you see your friends very often? What do you do with your friends when you get together? And the last question, how often do you keep in touch when you're not meeting face-to-face with your friends? The second topic in this test is taking notes. The first question says, do you prefer to take notes on your mobile phone or on paper? The second question, when do you write notes on paper? And the third one, would your way of thinking be different when you are typing on a computer compared to when you are writing on paper? And the last topic, which is about public holidays. The first question says, do you enjoy public holidays? The second question says, should there be more public holidays? And the third one, what do people do on public holidays? Now, what I want you to do is to take a look at these questions, 3 different topics, think of your own answers, and then come back to me so that I can give you my answers and then we analyze them based on IELTS criteria. Here we go. Okay, now we want to start with part 1. We have part 1, part 2, and part 3. There are different questions, different topics, and we want to start with the first topic in the first part. I read the questions, I give you my answer, and then we talk about those, then moving on to the next topic. So here we go. Here the first topic in part 1 is about friends. The first question says, do you see your friends often? My answer to this question is, I'm afraid not. In the last few months, I have had a quite hectic schedule during the week and on the weekends. I am almost working 24/7 from 10 in the morning to ungodly hours at night because I have a full-time job with a heavy workload. So I don't get any time to spend with my friends. The second question says, what do you do with your friends when you get together? And my answer is, when I get the chance to have some free time with my friends, they normally come to my house in the evenings to watch some movies. Besides, we buy some snacks and junk food to enjoy this quality time together. From time to time, we hang out in a coffee shop, chit-chatting, and that's when the good memories come flooding back. And the third question, how often do you keep in touch when you're not meeting face-to-face with your friends? My answer to this one is, well, that's a good question. I suppose I text my close friends 3 times a week or more because that's the easiest way to keep in contact with them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to visit them often since we all have a grueling schedule. So yeah, 3 to 4 times a week. Now let's zoom in on my answers to see what I have used in my sentences. First, looking at my first answer, the question was, do you see your friends often? I tried to use some collocations and paraphrasing besides some good connectives. As you see here, I have marked them in different colors so that you can see the difference here. First, to talk about the collocations I have used. The first one is hectic schedule, which means a busy schedule. So you can also use this collocation. The next one, I'm almost working 24/7. 24/7 means 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The next one is ungodly hours at night. It means very late at night. Ungodly hours. It means very late or very early. But since I'm saying at night, then it refers to the night, which is very late. The next one, a full-time job. You can have a full-time job or a part-time job. Heavy workload. It means a lot of work to do. Now in the next answer, I have used more collocations. Like the first one is quality time. It means the time you spend with somebody in order to strengthen your relationship. You can have some quality time with your family, with your friends. To hang out, it means to spend time relaxing or socializing informally. So instead of saying I spend time with my friends, you can say I hang out with my friends. Or you chit-chat. It means you talk about this and that. It means about some unimportant issues. You're sitting in a coffee shop, chit-chatting with your friends. And the next one, the good memories come flooding back. It means you're sitting, talking, and you suddenly remember the good memories clearly, and then you talk about them. And my last question here in this topic, which was about friends, keep in contact, which means keep in touch. This is another term for that. A grueling schedule, which means a busy schedule. We also had something else, a hectic schedule in my first answer. So here are some very good collocations and vocabulary you can use in this topic. Other than that, if you look at some sentences and phrases I have marked in blue, you can see these are the paraphrase form of the question or some synonyms I have used. This is also very important to use synonyms. For example, in my first answer, the question says, do you see your friends often? And in the last sentence, I say, I don't get any time to spend with my friends. So instead of saying, I don't have any time or I don't spend any time with my friends, I said, I don't get any time to spend with my friends. In the second one, the question was, what do you do with your friends when you get together? The first sentence I said, when I get the chance to have some free time with my friends. To have some free time with your friend. So this is another paraphrase form. I also have some very good fillers and boosters. I use them to start my answer or in the middle of my answer when I run out of ideas or I'm just looking for the next ones. For example, the first one, I started my answer saying, I'm afraid not. So instead of saying no, you can say I'm afraid not, which means unfortunately not. In the third answer, I started my response saying, well, that's a good question. I suppose. So you can do this in order to buy yourself some time to analyze what you want to say and then start your answer. This is also to help you to formulate your answer. The last thing to mention here is about the connectives I have used. In the first one, in my first answer, I used the word because. In the second one, besides, which is an alternative for and from time to time. It means not very often. The last one is otherwise, when you want to show the contrast here. So you can watch the videos of the alternatives for the words and, so, but, because on our YouTube channel. Here, as one of the latest topics in IELTS speaking, it is asking us to talk about taking notes. The first question says, do you prefer to take notes on your mobile phone or on paper? And my answer, I'd rather do it on my phone because it is easy to access my cell phone no matter where I am, while not everywhere you can get a pen or pencil. Besides, writing with a pen or pencil makes me tired. That's why my answer would be my mobile phone. Now the second question. When do you write notes on paper? Well, let me think about it. I guess when I want to go shopping, I note it down on a paper. The thing is that sometimes my phone dies and can't power on. So I will have to use a pen and paper instead of my phone in that case. And the third question says, would your way of thinking be different when you are typing on a computer compared to when you are writing on paper? My answer is definitely yes. I am very much into writing about my feelings on a paper, and I often do that. When I write on a paper, I get inspired, and I am even able to come up with life-changing plans for the future. However, my mind is more academic when I type on my laptop, and I don't think of anything personal or motivational. Now let's see why I gave these answers. Starting with my first response, the question was, do you prefer to take notes on your mobile phone or on paper? I tried to use some paraphrase forms or some synonyms which are marked in blue. For example, the question was, do you prefer to take notes? And I answered, I'd rather do it on my phone. So instead of to prefer to do something, I said, I'd rather do something. Or instead of mobile phone, I used the word cell phone. Now in the second question, it was asking us, when do you write notes on paper? Instead of writing notes, I used note it down, to note something down or to write something down. I have also used some good collocations. For example, in the second one, in my second answer, I said my phone dies. It means when your phone is non-functional and actually broken, when it doesn't work. Or in the second one, life-changing plans. You can also use this one. It means some plans that change your life totally, completely. And the last thing here, you can also use some good connectives. Like in the first one, the ones which are bold, the first one is besides, or that's why, when you want to talk about the reason. In the third answer, I use however to show the contrast, which is a good alternative for the word but. You can also use some good fillers and boosters to start your answer or in the middle of your answers. For example, in the second answer, I started it this way. Well, let me think about it. I guess. And then I gave my answer. In the third one, instead of just saying yes or no, I said definitely yes, and I just kept talking. You can also do the same thing. Collocations and vocabulary, fillers and boosters, connectives, and paraphrasing the question or using direct synonyms in your answers. And now we move on to the third and last topic in the first part of this test. This one is about public holidays. The first question asks, do you enjoy public holidays? Here's my answer. Actually, being on vacation or not doesn't really matter to me, as I am working all the time, and the funny thing is that on public holidays, I have even got more to take care of. Therefore, public holidays are just like other days to me. The second question says, should there be more public holidays? Here's my answer. If you want to know my opinion, I would say no. That's because we already have enough of those, and if someone feels like they need more off days or public holidays, I think it's because they don't know how to get the best out of the days they have. The third question, what do people do on public holidays? From what I know, they go on picnic or spend some time with their family members. Moreover, the people who are looking for a little change of scenery would prefer to take a trip to the countryside and relax. Let's now zoom in on my answers to see what I have used. The first question says, do you enjoy public holidays? If I want to talk about the synonyms I have used, the first one is vacation. Instead of holiday, I use the word vacation. The next one is take care of. So instead of using the word do to do something, I said, I have even got more to take care of. So not only you should paraphrase the question of the examiner, but also you can use synonyms in your own answers, only to just use some new words and not to repeat the same ones again and again. Now talking about the collocations I have used, which are in red. In my second answer, which was about having more holidays or not. I use the term get the best out of something. It means to use something or to utilize something the best you can. The third one was about what do people do on public holidays, and I used go on a picnic, some activities we can do. Change of scenery, it means a move to different surroundings. Other than that, you have to make sure to use some fillers and boosters. For example, in my first answer, I started it using actually some discourse markers, some or fillers or some boosters. In the second one, I said, if you want to know my opinion, I would say no. Or again, I think. In the third one, I said from what I know. And finally, the use of good connectives and conjunctions. Like in the first one, my first answer, I used the word as an alternative for because. Therefore, which means so. In the second one, I said that's because when I want to talk about the reason of something. And finally, in my third answer, I used the word moreover, which is a very good alternative for and. Very well, guys. Just like what we did today, you can look for speaking questions, give your own answers to them, record yourself, and then analyze your answers. If you want to be evaluated by us, book an online speaking mock test with our examiners. It will make a big difference, trust me. In the next videos, we will work on the next parts. I wish you best of luck and see you very soon.